to begin.
Oh shit, yeah. Cool. I mean, that's our new introduction. That's the new introduction to the show.
Yeah. Nice.
That's my my audio brand.
I like
Or
that.
my Sonic logo. That's what people are calling them nowadays.
That's
Yeah.
that audio branding. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've been hearing it. That you don't notice it until it happens. And you're like, wait a second.
That's some real
This
shit,
is-
though. I've been paying attention to a lot of that audio branding. It's real psychological.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
like you listen. Like for example, just the iPhone. You hear it. You get a notification, and it's that notification. You know it's coming from an iPhone. Like it symbolizes
Yeah.
that message. You know, hey, Apple. You know?
Oh yeah.
So they're doing it. But before we get into all that crazy stuff, I want to introduce my guest today. We have the master artist. What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for coming out. I was like, hey, I'm hoping, you come through. It's been a while since I talked with you, and I just wanted to dig deep what you're doing, and then
Absolutely.
see where it goes from there.
I appreciate you for having me on again, and it's been much too long since the last time we spoke, so
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys. A lot has changed since then.
definitely. So jumping into that, like, just give us a little bit of background. Like, give the listeners a little background about who you are, and where you come from, real quick.
All right, just to give a little recap background about who I am. So I always tell people my name is Jason Lee, the Master Artist, and I was born into this world to become the greatest artist of all time. And my story is I was a child prodigy artist since the age of 5. I could draw proportionate animals, and my mom and dad fused the world of art education into me. So they had me trained by the top illustrators and painters who were master's degree professors over at Art Center since I was a child. Long story short, when I was the age of 10, I could draw and paint like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, like Renaissance artists.
Holy fuck.
I was the best of the best
Yeah.
as far as just drawing. I was dominating all the awards at the time for like kids when it came to art. I was beating out kids that were twice my age, 3 times my age. And after that, I got recruited on to basically draw and be a part of Disney.
Oh shit.
So people don't realize this, but I was a commercial artist for 25 years. Recruited on to work with Disney, Warner Brothers, and then eventually I worked for Microsoft. I was a conceptual artist for Microsoft. Long story short, though, I made Microsoft over $1 million with one piece of artwork that I did, and told myself if I were to do that for a major corporation, a billion-dollar corporation that already makes tons of money, I said, you know what? Let me take a little step out of this corporate world right here and just boss up on the whole situation and become my own boss. Leave corporate America and then invest all of my talent and all of my art into my own business. And then so that's how the Master Artist
made
was
that
born,
jump.
though. Made that major jump right there.
Yeah, man.
And just for me, like I was already extremely confident because I was the best. Like there was no artist around me that could even touch my skill, my just how hard I worked. As far as just being a pure talented to the maximum degree artist. I'm an art champion. So for me, it was just like, hey, I had to take that dive. And for me, I only saw like I've never lost in any kind of a outcome when it came to art. So I never knew fear in art. So that's how I was able to take that and become a fine art independent artist. And I decided I would become an independent fine artist so I can create artwork instead of working for a corporation to basically work for them for like 50, 60 years to try and make $1 million of a retirement plan. I said, you know what, let me become an independent fine artist so I can, challenge the laws of provenance. So I wanted to master the laws of provenance so I could sell artwork for over $1 million, one piece of artwork. And I said, you know what, yeah, that's what I'm doing right there. I'm going all in right there, and I'm not looking back. And so I decided, me understanding the art world, like I know it's crazy for me. I manipulate and I dominate the art world as far as like the conceptual art asset value of what I create, as far as innovation, because I get to choose how much I want to innovate and how less I want to innovate, depending on the scenario, the situation, or time frame, and all that stuff. And for me now, that like I'm older now, I'm wiser now. 42 years old. I always tell people I'm the same age as Floyd Mayweather.
Wow.
Dude, you do not look 42, man.
Not at all.
Oh yeah. I'm a lot older and wiser now, but I'm not. Even though I'm older and I've been in the game for so long, I'm not really. I don't feel as if I'm an old soul that's about to retire or anything like that. I feel as if I'm still at my peak.
Nice.
I'm still striving. I'm still rising. Like, rising actually higher than I've ever rose in my life, like ever. So that's why right now I feel as if it's a great time to inspire the world and to change it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, for sure. Since you said so you've been doing independent for how long?
Let's see, independent fine artist. I would say. Let's see, that would be since 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what, like 13, 14 years, huh?
14 years. Yep.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you saw the difference between what you were doing in corporate and once you became free, right? You're experimenting with different styles, different mediums.
I gotta tell you, my experience in corporate America, I always trip people out on this because it builds so much knowledge for younger artists who actually work as a commercial artist but have dreams of becoming an independent fine artist that blows up in this world. There's such a difference in mentality. And for me, my experience in as a commercial artist, when I work for a lot of these advertisement agencies and Disney and Warner Brothers, big corporations like that, I was just the most extremely skilled artist that was on their squad, their team. So I had, when I was working with Disney, I had like 25 designers that were all a part of this department. He had like one creative director. He was getting paid the big money, right? And then they had me on there, and I did design as well as illustrate, and I could draw anything that anybody tells me into a reality. So they all looked at me like, okay, he the special one. And then all the designers are like, yeah, we can't do what he does. And I was like, yeah, I know you can't. And then the creative director, he's like the boss, the head of all the designers, and he's above me as well, so he controlled all of us. And we would all be sitting around a round table, right? Disney comes in with this $100,000 brand campaign, right? They drop 100 G's on it. They gave it to our department, said, we want like 20 designs from you guys. You guys got 20 designers.
Like a movie or some...
Exactly. Some big film. And then, so we're all sitting around at the table, the creative director. This gentleman's like, okay, team, we need to create some ideas right now. And he says, before we create finalized ideas, we have to have rough draft blueprints of the whole thing. And then they're all, oh, okay. There needs to be illustration involved. So that, which just basically means somebody has to draw it out.
Right.
Who's the best one to draw it out, though? And everyone knows I'm the best. So I'm like, they all looking at me.
Yeah, they all turn around to look at you.
They looking at me. I was like, you best believe I'm the savior here. And I looked at them and I said, but you know what? Yeah, I was born for this. I was always the best at drawing my whole entire life. So whatever you guys do, like, you guys know this is what I do. And so when all these designers came together, this is why designers actually can't stand the master artist. Designers hate the master artist because for me, I always dominate them. Yeah. And it's easy for me too because designers don't know how to draw. And that's the biggest weakness when it comes to art and design. If you're sitting at a round table and we're all talking about who brings and puts something on the table as far as marketable asset value and who can communicate that on a higher level faster. So me being able to draw I'm creating all of their ideas.
Yeah, right. They're gonna take it out from your based off yours, whatever you draw, and they're gonna digitalize it.
We're turning it in. They can't even start without me. And for me, that's when I understood that the power of being able to draw is the most powerful thing when it comes to art, because it's about who's able to communicate that high-powered idea to the maximum degree visually. And then you can monetize on that, and you can make a game plan on that, and you can innovate everything.
Right.
So that's what I learned when I was really young at that time. I was young when I was working in corporate America. I was in my 20s. If now that I look back at it in retrospect now, and I imagine myself going back in time.
Yeah.
I there's so many things I would have done different. But I believe that I had to experience a lot of these things in corporate America as an artist in order to be who I am now as a master artist.
Yeah, that's like the double-edged sword. They're like, you wish you were at that age, but you wouldn't. Would you really know? I mean, you want to be at that age with the knowledge you have, now, at whatever point you are in your life. But it's like, you wouldn't be who you are, though. That's the that's the catch. It's like,
so I would create all the artwork for these 20 designers, right? I would draw out all their ideas. And this is what happened to me in corporate America. After I drew out all of their ideas, and mind you, all the designers are all like this to me. They're like bowing to me.
Yeah.
Right? And they're just like, dude, you're freaking like God. I was all like, I am. I'm your art god.
Yeah.
I'm creating your idea, okay? Sit back, watch and learn, and you can't do what I do. I would always put that in their faces. And that's why when I actually graduated. Actually, I didn't graduate, but I went to learn how to become a high-powered designer, a luxury brand designer.
Oh, okay.
So I became a high-powered graphic designer, artist, and I learned that in school. I went and got an education on that at Cal State Long Beach. So Cal State Long Beach is actually one of the top design programs in California. The only program that's above them, I believe, is Art Center. Art Center is like a school that you have to pay like $25,000 a quarter, probably even more now.
Fuck.
But Cal State Long Beach was competitive with them as far as their education, so that's why I went there, and it was crazy. I learned how to be a high-powered genius of brand marketing design for luxury brand design, which means that it's for to bring a brand onto a higher, more contemporary, modern, and futuristic, luxury-driven visualization and representation to the world that gives you that top dollar.
Yeah.
That top dollar visual value, and that's something that changed how I created artwork and design and how I saw art, because this is how, when I was in school, I used to I was always the best at drawing, but I wasn't a designer yet until I went to college. And when I went to college, it's funny, I went there trying to learn how to do logos and graphics, and the first design I did was Roscoes Chicken and Waffles. That was the first logo I did, right? So I was like, and it's funny, and I drew it all out. I made it really cool and and fun. And my design professors at that time and everyone around was kind of tripping out, like, damn, man, he just kicked that out, like, just drew that up. But then my professor, they saw how talented I was, but she said, but I'm going to challenge you. And I said, okay, how you going to challenge me? I said, I'm the best. And she goes, I want you to design like a super high-end luxury brand design for a hotel. We're talking the Four Seasons Hotel. Can you do that?
Yeah.
And you know what? At that time, I wasn't a designer. I was thinking more as a young adult. And so I didn't understand about like the financial side of utilizing my talent as a designer to make high-powered money, which is actually creating luxury brand marketing. And at that time, because when you're young, I was born into like cartoons, things like that, video games and all that. So I was really influenced by a lot of that stuff, comic books, things
like the art styles and what you were drawing, right?
What I was drawing, but I wasn't thinking about how to create a branding for a high-end luxury resort or for a billionaire, corporation or a company, and things like that. And those are major financial things that like in college, I wish they would have had a course on that.
Yeah, to kind of, yeah, right.
Yeah, but they never did. So it's a lot different now because now I'm full on bossed up now, and I said, you know what, I understand this high-powered financial business world of the art game when it comes to art and design, because I can create $1 million idea every single day if I wanted to.
Damn, that's sick, man. Yeah. So like one of my questions is like, what kept you going? What was it? Discipline? Was it discipline that you learned growing up to be consistent in what you were doing?
Yeah. So being a child prodigy artist, this is kind of how my relationships as I was growing up was when I was young. So I'm around a lot of other kids that could draw and paint. Supposedly everyone's like, this kid's the best too.
Yeah.
Right? And so they would always bring all the younger kids would always try and be around me to draw. Now what had happened was, this is how I knew I was much more on a superior level than a lot of these younger artists, was when I drew and then they would draw and we would put our stuff on the wall, we'd be looking at it all together, and all the other kids and all the other younger artists, they would say, man, mine is kind of messy a little bit. Yours is clean, spot on, perfect.
Yeah.
and so they came to me to they were like, can you clean my artwork to make mine like yours? And then that's when I knew I was just like, everyone's trying to be me.
Yeah.
Like, and the main thing is I do have so much more discipline than the majority of artists. I'm the artist that has the most patience in art. That's why I can conquer and dominate.
Yeah.
It's just like I just have to pick and choose a style, or I could visualize and see an artistic style of art and design, and I could manipulate it. I can increase the value of it. I can take it to a higher level. I could make it more cleaner, sleeker, more futuristic, maybe more old school. I can manipulate anything when it comes to art. So even when I'm like looking around now, you guys have so much cool stuff here, but I'm looking at it like, man, I could take all of this to a higher level or a lower level, or I could just manipulate in so many different ways, create another style out of morphing two different things together.
Yeah.
So that's how I became the art god. That's my AKA of what I've been going for this year, as far as representing myself and the caliber of talent that I have in this world, because I have the ability to basically dominate and command and conquer any kind of innovative idea right now.
So how do you continue to challenge yourself?
Keep challenging myself because I set infinite high-powered goals of greatness. So for me, it's interesting. I grew up on hip-hop. Hip-hop culture was about who is the best of the best. And it was like high-powered competitive nature, but about raising the elevation of standard. And so I live off of that through art. So that's what keeps me always motivated. Yeah. So I'm always like, people kind of still trip out on me on like why I always have this battle mentality within my mind when it comes to art at all times. And I just said that's what's called innovation. So if I'm not testing you and you're not testing me, and we're just spending time together here, we're really not doing nothing. But if we're challenging each other and we're like, damn, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna call this out. No, you doing better than this? Is it at a higher now we're doing something, So I just I keep it real now all the time everywhere I go. And I think that sharing my energy and my thought process towards high-powered creation of art is it's the most important thing for me to do now.
Now, do you think, in your opinion, that somebody else can come close? Or, okay, so basically, like, if somebody wants to pursue these type of, what would you call it, a career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if somebody wants to pursue that career, what is it that should keep them motivated? Like, is it just becoming disciplined, like, again, like just following through, or like
what's going to keep let's see, an artist that is interested in pursuing this career as a fine artist or taking my path. I think in art you could either be a commercial artist, you could be a independent fine artist. So you only have really those couple of routes right there. You can either and a lot of things fall into those different categories. Like even as a photographer, you can become a fine art independent photography artist, or you could be a corporate photographer artist. So you can either of those routes. I think is fine. I think if you go the corporate route, it's really good for people to go. Like I think it's important for young artists to experience being a commercial artist, so you understand about business, about how a corporation is run and organized, and you see the different dynamics of the business behind it. Gotcha. So me being older now, if I were to go back in time 20 years ago when I was working for a corporation like Disney, Warner Brothers, Microsoft, I would be having a different mentality now, because I would be in there, I'd be young, I'd be fresh, I'm like a lion out the gate. Yeah. So I'm like in there, but I'm like, oh man, I'm infiltrating this shit. I would be thinking like that now. When I was there 20 years ago, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just more thinking like, oh, how can I get some experience here? Yeah. Or like, I don't know my future. So you're just young and naive and not really understanding about your purpose as an artist. Now I have a major purpose, and so my mentality is a lot different. So, but my thought process was, if I were to go back 20 years back then, I would infiltrate the hell out of that corporation, and I'd be all of that, soaking it all in. So I know how to build the infrastructure of a corporation, and then I know that I'm gonna leave that company in 3 years. And within that 3-year span, I would be like, I'm doing nothing but climbing to the top, and I'm gonna get to that president, the CEO, that whole executive board right there. I'm gonna infiltrate them and befriend them, be real tight with them and close, and so now I could position myself towards the money. Yeah. And so I didn't do that when I was a lot of kids.
Because you're just trying to like survive.
You're just there. You're going in the motion. You have to. You're having to be told what to do, as opposed to, oh no, I'm doing this. It's a different mentality. So now, since I have that mentality in everything I do now, I think about a lot of those things, and how that's the kind of advice that I want to give to younger artists who want to stay motivated or trying to get into that commercial art world. Go all out. Get in there. Get in and out of there. You're going to leave there. You're not going to work for no corporation for no 20 years and they're going to take care of you, all that. No, you are going to get laid off. All kinds of shit's going to happen. Right. And plus, I think as an artist, you never want to give up on what's called, you don't want to box in your true potential of what you can achieve. So working for a corporation, you're already boxed in. So you're going to show up there every single day, you're going to get paid a check, and then you're going to go home, and your whole process is already laid out in front of you. That's why working as a commercial artist, it does train you to understand about those aspects of discipline and stuff like that, being controlled by a boss. But once you have enough guts and you've learned everything you needed to know, now you could become a boss.
Yeah, because you have all that knowledge that you just absorbed while you were there. Yeah. No, it's true. Because I think a lot of people do that. They'll take whatever experience they have from whatever it is that they're working in and apply it. I'm going to avoid that and I'm going to step more forward, Yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of people who get comfortable.
Oh, yeah. Very, very comfortable.
Get stuck. But no, I think that's what, I hear stuff like, your stories and stuff, and it's admirable because, you all, I think as any person, as individuals, we want to keep going. We want to keep getting better. And it's sometimes really hard for us to kind of keep going just because we feel like, our work is not good enough or anything, and we have those mental obstacles just kind of hold us back. So, yeah, I think it's cool, hearing that because, I feel every time I have some conversation with somebody that talks about their shit, it just feels like I'm getting revived again. Like, okay, you gotta keep hustling. Like, you gotta keep going.
Definitely.
And I think, you're a perfect example of that.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I do see a majority of a lot of artists out there who actually fail.
Yeah.
I would say I keep it real with everything. The majority of artists in this world fail. I would say very, very few artists become good artists.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets even lower than that. Very, very few from there become great artists. And then it keeps getting cut even more closer to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very few of us are actually can become legendary artists.
Yeah.
And so when you're at that caliber of understanding what art legend is, I always even go all the way up to the even very, very, very top, even from being a legendary artist, the greatest artist of all time.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, that's my strive. That's why I say I was born into this world to become the greatest artist of all time, because I know that's my destination right there already. And I just proclaim that. I allow people to understand my thought process on doing that. And that's the reason why. It's because you did ask, what pushes you, right? What makes you strive and keep going even harder? And I said, that's what I think about every single day I wake up. I'm here to become the greatest artist of all time, so I have to be challenging every single day of my life. Yeah. Otherwise, how can I proclaim that I am that of a higher level? And plus, greatness is never given. Greatness can only be conquered. So that's what a lot of artists don't think about that stuff. They just they think that I have a little bit of talent, I can make some work, show some people, and let me just wait for it to flourish and blow up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just getting by.
Just getting by. Plus they're not even testing the limits of the art. They're just like, let me just create a quick gimmick, and then make a cash flow out of that. And they're wondering how come it's not blowing up. You know, and they're not thinking about how art is actually, it's way more deeper than a lot of these people understand. They don't understand it. And people don't realize that art changes the world. Art changes perspectives. Art is art campaigns. Art is high-powered brand visual marketing. So just like how you were saying, you created that audio branding.
The bit in the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So you had that audio branding, which it basically manipulates people's minds through psychologically, because they hear it and they're like, boom, now they know it's you.
Yeah, it's associated with something. Like, okay, I get you.
So I do that visually. So visually, I manipulate the world. I manipulate human beings' minds. And I can show you I can affect any kind of emotion out of a human being through the visual that I show you. So it can make you say, oh, that's cool. Or it can make you say, oh my God.
Yeah. It can be, exactly. Anything.
Yeah. Or so any kind of emotional feeling. And that's what a lot of artists they don't understand, that how to embrace and capture that to the highest level. I do, though. As the greatest artist, yes, I do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of it for sure. You know, that's just one part of it. Learning how to manipulate that. You know, because everything you see, you're always looking, you're always absorbing everything, and subconsciously, you're still, you know what you're seeing. You know, that's how they get you. You know, like you see big brands like Bud Light or something, Coors Light. You know, on a hot day, you're like, oh, okay, and then subconsciously, 3 weeks later, you're buying Coors Light. You're like, oh, it somehow got you. You know.
I got a deep story to tell you, like as an example of how deep I go with art, as opposed to other artists. So I have a younger artist that I mentor. He's like 10 years younger than me, right? As far as like the skill level of what he's able to do, though, he's not that talented. But I understand. I said to him, I'm going to help you. And so he goes, okay. So I said, first of all, he said, I'm really great. I'm great at what I do. He actually paints. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. The guy actually transfers his picture, projects it onto a canvas, and then he paints it. Okay. Right? And then he's turning to me and he's saying, I'm awesome at that. I'm the best. And I looked at him. I said, you are what? I was all like, first of all, let me break you down real easy. I said, first of all, you don't have no God-given talent. Because if you did, you wouldn't need a technological tool to take a picture and project it on and then trace it on and to proclaim that you actually created that from scratch, right? Yeah. From a blank canvas to you did it. You actually had to use technology, somebody else's picture that you sampled already, and now you're just like obliterating all of that, and proclaiming how amazing you are. So to me, I always knew, I was like, man, I call out all the bullshit in the art world very, very quick. And to me, the reason why I know I'm the greatest artist of all time is because the art world is in a state of deception right now, like high-powered deception.
Like, in what sense? Like,
so what that means is, in this day and age, you can sell an art piece that is a blank white canvas for hundreds of millions. And you can proclaim that's value right there. We got that high-powered, innovative asset power right there. That's worth $100 million. Blank white canvas, though.
Yeah, nothing on it.
Nothing on it. Right? So that's what's going on in the day and age now. That's why I proclaim that high-powered deception is actually controlling, especially a lot of the high-powered financial market on the art market. So where they sell art for hundreds of millions of dollars, things like that. So if I pay real close attention to that stuff, and because to me, I'm the most highest skilled, talented artist in the world as far as like just living today. So for me, it's very important for me to master the laws of high-powered provenance, because now, me being a living artist, now I can take the value of what I do and my true high-powered God-given talent, and I can make hundreds of millions of dollars now that I'm attached to a high-powered billionaire who gives me their brand provenance as an endorsement value. So now I can proclaim the master artist and Warren Buffett are actually partners.
Oh, God damn.
That's major right there, right?
Yeah, major.
And then it's only one conversation from me and Warren to say, hey, Warren, how about we do a high-powered art dinner auction at your house? And you invite all of your billionaire friends, and we raise a lot of money with my artwork for a lot of your charity foundations together. What do you think Warren's gonna say?
No.
Just kidding. You know what? So it's a no-brainer to work with the master artist. So for me, it's just about mastering the laws of high-powered provenance, which basically means getting to the most wealthiest people in the world who are art collectors, and associating your brand with that high-powered individual. And then what you do is, once you associate your brand with that high-powered individual, now they endorse the value of your art, asset value of your art rises. Now you get to actually sell art from over $1 million to $100 million. So, and that's just one individual, right? So I love giving this advice out to artists in the world. Now you're gonna get all these artists running to all these billionaires and stuff trying to get provenance. But
it's funny you mentioned that, because right on the chat, Camel 211 says that's it. I'm picking up a pencil and making it happen.
How long is it gonna take him?
You know what? It's a cold game out there.
Yeah.
As far as like the art world, the reason why I love it so much, and I sacrifice my whole life to it, is because there's no limits. So I can make $1 billion in art if I want to. I just have to create the game plan for it and the blueprint for it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I have that, which I created.
You have that plan.
I have that plan. Yeah. High-powered $1 billion global plan to basically help inspire the world of art education. Okay. And for me, God blessed me with the gift to be the greatest artist of all time. And for me, it's very important for me to share my gift to the next generation. So I'm actually the artist. God brought me here to lay down the law as far as throwing down the last judgment upon this art world. Yeah. That means that I'm going to call out all the bullshit. I'm going to cut out all the deception in the world. I'm going to start chopping trees down. You know, and the only thing is, I'm the one that has to do it, because I'm the only artist who actually can challenge every single artist alive. There is no other artist in this world that could do that. I'm the only artist that was born and bred to do that. So it's an honor for me right now to be doing this, and I'm really excited to to bring legendary history together.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just had a question. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, contemporary art.
Yes.
You know how you walk in sometimes and people are going through the gallery and stuff, and they're like, "I could have drawn this shit."
Yeah.
What's your what's your outlook on those type of paintings?
Oh, okay. There you go. So I was explaining to you
Yeah.
about the Highpowered Provenance with the billionaires,
Mhm.
where they sell $100 million paintings. So the art out there, that contemporary art that you're saying in those galleries, that kind of art is there. Like, contemporary art was created to basically manipulate and be able to, I would say, bring deception upon the art world. Contemporary art.
Yeah.
Which means, like, when they say contemporary, they're just saying new, different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that they're saying. And to me, like, I have respect for contemporary art, because contemporary art is like, it's like artists who just want to make just to make, without having any, I guess, great aspirations. And so, and a lot of artists, they get really stuck on that aspect.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of artists they're not that talented. So what I notice in the art world, it's about confidence. So if you don't have confidence in art, then you're not going to do it, or you'll be afraid to do it. You'll put it off. You see a lot of these people who proclaim that they're artists, but they don't create. They don't create like a badass every day.
Yeah, they don't give it all.
Yeah, they don't beast up on it and just dive into it, with a lot of passion and dominance. That's it. You can only know dominance if you do that.
Yeah.
So most of these people, it's really, to me, it was about insecurities, and that's what education is all about right there. So when you're younger, and I've understood that by teaching kids. So I teach 5-year-old kids. I teach high school kids.
Yeah.
And
like the basics of drawing and all that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I always tell people who don't even know art, like, I can teach anybody how to create art. You just have to master creating the basic shapes: circle, square, triangle. If you can master making just perfect shapes, now you can go to the next level.
Yeah.
Make those in 3D. Right? So circle.
Yeah.
Square is a cube. The
Cylinder.
triangle. Yep. A pyramid.
Pyramid, yeah.
And so create that in 3 dimension. And then the next level after that, it would
drawing. Freehand.
Freehand. Just drawing. Getting used to making shapes. Because nobody knows. You don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you to create a portrait of a human being or a landscape environment if you didn't know even how to make the basic shapes of all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you'll look like a Picasso or something.
Yeah, it'll be exactly like cartoon or something, right? So that's how you can elevate. Where kids really start off doing stick figures when they're really young at drawing. From the stick figures, they'll start to create volume and shape.
Yeah.
Right, like cartoons, and then from cartoons, if you want to become a higher level, you have to draw realism. And so you can now take any kind of cartoon and then you can shape it into any kind of character format, and you can make it into the next, like, Toy Story or Pixar sort of style thing.
Yeah, just up to that 3D technology world.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now my son's at the phase where he's drawing superheroes with, like, actual details, but they're still really still. And it's like, okay, you gotta start putting them in action poses or something,
Definitely.
So hopefully he moves on to that level.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He got to. This is the age of the, the creatures and the characters coming out now. So I say, like, hey, if the kids, I want to inspire them to draw out all the monsters, all the crazy characters and stuff like that is cool. Like that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's practice too, right? I mean, I'll say it's practice. They used
definitely
to just fucking around.
I mean, you know what? The more you draw, that's how you can become amazing at it. If you don't draw, you can't be an amazing artist. You gotta draw your ass off every day.
And well, there you have it, people.
Definitely.
I mean, for sure, you stick. I feel like people just can get off, like, just being consistent, disciplined, even if they don't strive to be at that level. just to strive to get better, and just keep going even if you feel like you can't.
Absolutely, brother.
Oh man. Before we start wrapping this up, because that's the right time, right, Dre? 14?
Right there.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Wait, but that's the time that's for the hour.
Well, yeah, that's why I started.
Oh, okay. So we got 14 minutes, right?
Do you want to go past the 8:30?
Oh.
Oh, you got a time frame?
Yeah, we got a time frame.
What's the time frame?
Like 8:30.
Oh, what time is it right now?
8:20.
I'll give you another
8:20?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's see
So
here. Well,
Go ahead.
yeah. Well, let's see. Well, we got 10 minutes here. What can we?
Hey, you know what?
Hey man, I went by pretty fast.
Can we freestyle some stuff?
Yeah.
It did go by fast.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, what?
No,
Okay.
you know what, though? We can keep talking too.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, too,
It's
it's
started a little late. That's the only thing that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
oh
it's cool,
yeah,
it's cool,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool.
No worries.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of me being a legendary artist, it is what it is. I like talking about some real, like I said, some real deep stuff.
Yeah, no.
Like, I'll tell you this too. With an artist, like, this is the kind of advice I want to give to artists out there for as far as confidence goes. Like, people don't realize this, but I have the power to seduce the most beautiful women in the world with my art. Just by drawing them.
God damn.
And I can seduce them when it comes to two aspects that I dominate.
Yeah.
In a way that's through love, or in a way that's through lust.
Oh.
So I'm gonna make them feel. I have to I choose however that I want them to feel, and that's the power that I put into that drawing, or that art. And this is what's cold-blooded about being the most amazing dope-ass artist, as far as like true high-powered skill. So I always tell people this story. I'm a master artist, but I'm also a strip club legend, right?
Oh.
I told you guys that, right?
Yeah.
Because I went to a strip club for 100 days straight, and I drew all the bad bitches. All the baddest ones in there. The most beautiful ones there. And you know what? For me, it was interesting. I didn't go to strip club much back in the days. But at that time, I said, you know what? Nah, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go in there and do one thing. I'm going to master the laws of seduction in my drawing. So I could draw any beautiful woman, right? And I had a lot of friends that were coming with me to the strip club. And they kept going, hey, Brad, how do you get those bad bitch? How do you get those girls like that? And I was just like, hey, bro, I told you, man. It's not about what you think it is when it comes to beautiful women. I said, I could get a woman through my creativity. That's the highest level of how to get a bad bitch, a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
It's not through thinking that you look good, your hairstyle, thinking that you ain't cool enough, all that stuff. And I said, this is all I got to do. Draw them? Oh, I'm drawing them up. Not even saying one word and turning it around. And that beautiful woman comes up straight up to me and goes, oh my God. That's all. That's just.
And then you get those
game.
VIP sessions. Hey, come on.
Come on, man.
Not kidding.
Hell
That's pretty cool, man. It's good. I would never think somebody would go to a strip club for 100 days to draw. And
Nobody would do that.
That's the last thing you think of somebody doing at the strip club.
But that's cool that the girls took. So did you tip the girls with artwork?
You did pretty much. I did actually I did over 300 girls within 100 days.
Yeah.
Because I could draw like 20 women in one night. And I would even test myself a lot like that. Me and my friend Kale, we used to go over to strip clubs after work a lot because he worked for me as an artist. And he was very talented too. I always had love for him because he could draw real fast. And then, but when we went to a strip club, I was the one that brought the sketchbook every time. And I came inside, I'm drawing strippers. And then he was always like, man, dude, nah, I don't want to draw here. He's all like, why are you drawing over here? And I said, man, I'm here to master the laws of seduction, man. I'm not here to be a regular dude here at the strip club. I'm here to be a master artist. I said, I got to seduce these women with this art. Kale, come on. I said, let's be real with it. And he didn't care, at that time. He
never brought a sketchbook.
Nah, never brought. He didn't. He was always telling me like, nah, don't show your art in front of these bitches right here. He's all like, these bitches ain't gonna do you right, master artist. They're not gonna appreciate you, And I told him, yo, Kale, I'm not looking at these strippers like they're freaking high-powered art people.
Yeah.
I was all like, nah, these strippers are just bad bitches, beautiful women. I was all like, man, if I could seduce them with my artwork, you
Hell
best believe I'm going all in. Yeah, so, he saw me doing that, and to me, it really taught me how to seduce a woman through my stroke. How do I create that? It's like serenading their beauty and being able to manipulate the communication of what I want to say to them to make them feel like, oh, wow.
Yeah, like how they're seen, in that sense of, I don't know, the way they come out as, I don't know, strippers.
Yeah.
The chat room's calling you. He says I'm gonna call you Pimp Juice.
Pimp Juice, I like that right there. Master artist Pimp Juice.
Pimp Juice. Fuck, dude, that's funny. I totally have forgotten about that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's awesome, man. Again, nobody does that shit, and I think the fact that you that you did it, that you went through with it with a specific mindset, it was, you had that discipline too,
Oh yeah, it was real psychological.
Yeah.
Why I wanted to do it. I really looked at it like, oh, I didn't want to go in there like a normal guy into the strip club. I wanted to go in there as a master artist, do something that has never been done before, which is, man, there are no artists that came into no strip club and freaking seduced all these beautiful women just like that. I was all like, man, I knew I would become a figment of a persona as a legend within what they witnessed, as far as just that picture and that art that I captured their soul out of, like, just like that. And I think to me it's incredible. It allows me to connect with the female beauty on such a high powered level, and to me, I think it's about appreciating it to the highest level. I always tell people that art, the most symbolic symbol in art is a beautiful woman, because as an artist, you want to be able to create beauty at the end of the day, something that somebody's like, oh, that's beautiful, even though like I said, I can make you feel many emotions, but at the end of the day, you do want to be able to feel like, wow, that's something beautiful.
Yeah, I remember learning the first time the difference between what made nude in art and what was nude and naked. There's two different forms of it, just how they're depicted in a painting or something.
Yeah,
exactly. I was like, oh shit, like I never ever thought of that before. Somebody told me. I was like, oh fuck, that's totally right. You can make somebody a woman look innocent, or anything look innocent by doing specific poses while they're in nude or while they're naked, and naked's like the dirty ones.
Yeah,
exactly. It's crazy. Even those little things already connect to your mind, and you're like psychologically manipulated.
We're already like really, I mean, if you really think about it, it's interesting too. Like I even think about it too. Like we're all somewhat manipulated already. Like even like when I walk around in this world, like we're wearing T-shirts, right? Like we're freaking, why does it have to be a T-shirt? Right? Like someone conditioned it to be like that, right?
Normal.
To be just the normal thing, but then, who's to say this couldn't be like a suit, I don't know, futuristic armor or some, or you couldn't be wearing like a freaking animal skin outfit or something.
And that's the norm. Yeah, you don't have it. You're weird. You're like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
You're challenging the norms.
Definitely. So definitely challenging. I think that's what high-powered art is, which is challenging, leaps and bounds of greatness outside of the box of normality. That's how you become great.
Damn, you heard it here first, people.
Yeah.
And probably wherever else, you've told us.
Definitely.
But no, dude, thank you for coming out, man. The hour honestly flew by.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so thank you again. Next time we'll get to a bunch of other stuff, but dude, thank you for really, coming in here and just, having a conversation.
Thank you, brother.
Because especially last minute, I think you just told me yesterday. You're like, "Hey, I'm down for tomorrow, for Thursday." I was like, "Oh fuck, all right, let's do it."
You know what, though? Yeah, I always love recording.
Yeah.
I like, to be honest, I do my own recording like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, because right now it's all about content creation when it comes to social media and everything. So it's about who can dominate content creation. So it's important to create content on a daily basis that you can filter out. Stay in the relevance of people's minds on a daily level, and then you
Yeah.
dominate marketing.
Okay.
And so that's why when you told me like, yeah, you wanted to go live, and then I was like, wow, that's high powered marketable content right there, with somebody interviewing me right away. And then I want to inspire the world. Like, I really want to talk to people.
Yeah.
I want to share my story. I want to inspire people like right now, not later. So that's why when you hit me up, I was just like, yo, I'm through. I'm coming.
Yeah, it's cool, especially when it's last minute, man. But thanks again, dude. I know that people can find you at Jason Lee Arts on Instagram, right?
Jason Lee Arts on Instagram. Yes.
Cool. Any other place we will catch you?
That's it right there.
All right, man. Well, hopefully it's not a few years before I talk to you again, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. And thank everybody. See you guys next week.
Appreciate it.